Hi, I'm Rich with ISC'14. We're here at ISC'14 in Leipzig, Germany, and we're here at the Bright Computing booth. I'm here with David Maples. David, how are you doing today?
We're doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, good, good. Thanks for having us here.
Great.
Why don't we start at the beginning? Who is Bright Computing and who do you help?
Sure. So Bright Computing is a cluster management software company. We build cluster management software that originally started in the HPC world and started for scalable computing environments. Obviously, the product's been developed about over the last 8 years. Bright Computing as a company has been in business for over 4 years, and we cover worldwide businesses, heavily in US, EMEA, Asia Pac, and basically technical computing, oil and gas, life sciences, financial services, and general computing uses.
Okay, so anybody that might be interested in clustering computers, so what kind of new products do you have for them these days?
So we just rolled out Bright version 7, and version 7, of course, added a number of new features, including the ability to add add-on capabilities for Hadoop and Openstack. But importantly, in addition to that, we've added support for UCS from Cisco, and a number of new features that allow the scalability and the ease of use to even increase.
Okay, yeah, I've been reading a lot about these UCS systems. That's terrific.
Yep.
They're like the #4 server vendor, if I remember correctly.
Pretty impressive growth, and they've been moving into the more classic compute HPC environment lately with them. And so one of the key things in that environment was when they were competing for the classic RFP type of deals where there were advertised RFPs, they needed to have a cluster management environment, and that was lacking in the UCS environment. Mm-hmm. So now with the partnership with Bright and Cisco UCS, the Cisco resellers that are selling this can now have a cluster management and compete with the other vendors that like an HP or a Dell or the other people that are there.
Sure. Okay, so that's your new products.
Right.
Okay, and we've been hearing a lot about high performance data analytics. I think IDC just had a breakfast meeting about this. What do you guys got in that arena?
Well, that's an interesting one too. We got into the Hadoop business about a year and a half ago, mm-hmm. and basically built the ability to run Bright environments, managing the Linux portion of a Hadoop environment, and then lay either Hortonworks or Cloudera on top of that, and we had a script in order that allowed that to happen very easily. So as a result, we started almost a year and a half ago with OEM partners and resellers building systems based on Bright and either Cloudera or Hortonworks. So as a result of that, we learned a lot about that business, and we actually created now a plug-in product which allows you to build your own Hadoop environment supporting either Cloudera, Hortonworks, MapR, and mainly Apache Hadoop. And on top of that, you're able to get the monitoring metrics that make these manageable clusters. So that's what the add-on piece of that we've introduced with version 7 as an add-on product.
Okay, that's so important, that manageability, because Hadoop has that reputation of just being a bear to set up.
Well, and that's really the key thing. If you look at the poor users today, they get some software that's like Apache Hadoop. They've got to set up a system. They've got to make it all work. It's really challenging to get it to work right. With Bright, essentially, you put a DVD in bare metal. It builds the Linux cluster. It builds the Hadoop environment on top of it, and it gives you the reporting you want. And so it really reduces the technology barrier to getting into the business and making it work easily.
All right, so I've been reading a lot about Openstack. It's in the papers every day. What are you guys doing there?
So what we're doing in Openstack is it really is the second generation of what we've been doing in the cloud business, which we started originally in version 6 of Bright, the same time we introduced the first generation of Hadoop. So in first generation of cloud, we have basically built the cloud bursting capability that allowed people with existing Bright clusters that are on the ground clusters, allowed them to burst out and add nodes from the AWS cloud and do this very seamlessly. So with that, we started getting some customers and developed that area. One of the things we heard, though, is that people really wanted to also build private clouds. They didn't necessarily want to go out and use the AWS cloud. So and we realized that Openstack, which is really the one that's become the standard for most industries, is the common environment to build a cloud on today. So what Bright has now introduced is the ability to take Bright Cluster Manager with an add-on that builds OpenStack and take a bare metal cluster again, bare metal hardware again, put in the DVD, allow it to build the Linux cluster, and allow it to build the OpenStack cluster on top of that, and then have so that the customer walks away with a working OpenStack cloud environment that they can either use for private cloud, or they can use it for people that want to sell cloud cycles and build their own cloud businesses. So that's what we've done there, and that one is just taking off. We're just rolling that out now. So we'll be seeing that really grow, but we think that's going to be a big environment because so many people appreciated what they could do with Amazon, but they really wanted the more control and the ability to have a cloud themselves.